Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm uh, gonna speaking about a very interesting topics, which is actually right now in trends for a lot of industries. We've been talking about ChatGPT. We know, I think by this time we know what is generative AI and all. But one of the key important aspect of being in a generative AI or ChatGPT is the prompt engineering. So if you look at that, ChatGPT has already emerged as a powerful tool that holds tremendous potential in a wide range of applications. However, despite its impressive capabilities, many users often find themselves frustrated by the generic and sometimes very irrelevant response they receive. This is primarily due to the failure of utilizing the full capabilities of ChatGPT and the lack of understanding in crafting well structured prompts. So that's what the prompts comes and plays. So the importance of the prompt engineering cannot be overstated. It is actually the art and science of designing prompts that effectively guide the language model, enabling it to provide accurate and tailored responses. Unfortunately, without a proper prompt engineering, users may face challenge in harnessing the true power of the ChatGPT. Yeah, so I think this is what importance of the prompt, and so we need to understand the prompt engineering within generative AI. We need to understand the you know or ChatGPT. So before that, just wanted to small introductions. My name is Shubhrata Roy. I'm working with the IT industry more than 15 years now. I've been working with the CEO advisory, enterprise architecture, cloud strategy architecture, digital transformation, application modernization, system designs, some of the things. I've worked across various industries such as banking, insurance, mortgage, retail, as well as manufacturing domains. And in terms of geographies, I have worked on multiples USA, UK, Europe, and Middle East. Yeah, so I think that's a small introduction about me. Let's start about the prompt engineering prompt. So let's quickly talk about there is a lot of definitions in terms of prompt. So let's understand the prompt basics. Understanding how to prompt with the ChatGPT or generative is the first and crucial steps in fully utilizing this powerful language model. When you talk about prompting, we can, providing an input to the model and receiving a response in return. So this is what the important, right? We have to provide an input in a model and receive the output. So, I mean, before before jumping into the all those definitions and all, so let's understand the what is prompt. And so as I said, it's a, you can say that it's a gap, it's a, it's a bridge between the gap to address between the humans and machines. So you are giving, suppose if you are opening the chat gpts and you are giving some questions, and you, or question means the inputs, right? Then you are expecting some you know output of that. So is that something, whatever output you are expected, is that something addressed or not? So this is where the prompt comes, as I said earlier also. So the term prompts are critical in improving the capabilities of AI algorithms. They bridge the communication gap between humans and machines, allowing us to actually connect to the AI system in a more natural and intuitive manner. So we can get accurate and personal result from AI by providing appropriate prompts. So some of the use cases for prompts, I mean, there is a lot. I just highlighted some of the trending use cases definitely used for ChatGPT or any chatbots, such as virtual assistants, content creation, translation of languages, insight and data analysis. Now, if you look at the prompt categories also, there are numerous varieties of prompt. How following these are some of the most common categories. One is that prompts we are using for learning. We want to know certain specific information, so we provide certain inputs and expecting the result. For example, an educational prompt might state, for example, write a poem about a lost love, or translate this text from English to Spanish. So this is one of the learning categories, and then the creativity also, which is again is very useful, is seen. For example, prompts for writing that encourage the AI model to be innovative, right? So a creative prompt might be suggested, for example, write a story about talking a cat or design a new logo for a company. So these are in terms of creativity, which can help. So these are most in terms of if you look at the varieties of prompts, the creativity and learnings are useful. Now, what has happened that prompts that are difficult to follow is if you want to write an assignment, which maybe you are expecting from the AI, ChatGPT or any other generative AI to give an output. So difficult prompt might suggest, for example, write a poem about the meaning of life, or they translate this text from a language you don't know. So these are also possibility about prompts which are in terms of varieties of prompt. So I think in short, sorry, in short, these are long stories of understanding of prompt in generative AI and ChatGPT. So while moving to the next slide, I'll talk about what are the strategies should be for prompt designing. What are the key context? What are the key designing principles and all? So let's move to the next slide from a prompt. So if you look at from the prompt aspect, right, we understood till the times, the prompt aspect, right? We are giving a certain inputs, we are expecting certain outputs. The outputs which are expected or desired, is it providing or not? So we need to think about certain guidelines, like how do you, make this thing happen in terms of getting the desired output. So one is that definitely you have to begin with this specific aim in mind. This could be a thorough work such as the writing, uh, yeah, such as a writing a new piece, or it could be a specialized information such as product description. Make sure of this as a jumping point for your prompts. So that's a very important. Then be specific and exact, right? Fill up the prompt with such a detail as possible as to help AI to understand what you want to generate. And then make use of natural language. Use the same vocabulary and grammar that human would use when requesting the some information or doing the same actions. Choose the type of the text. Give the AI a sense of the type of text you want to generate, as well as templates to provide a structure and typical activities of information. Make use certain keywords. Is a particular keywords linked to the task or information for which you wish to generate text to help the AI comprehend the purpose of the prompts. Maintain simplicity. Keep the suggestion brief, easy to understand by avoiding any sophisticated jargon and terminology. Context is better. I'll talk about the context in a later part of my next slide. So context is also important while thinking about the key components of prompt. So context is another key factor to consider when developing prompts for AI system. It has the potential to dramatically impact the accuracy and relevancy of the AI responses. Now coming to the context. Now what are the to think about? These are some of the listed context. It could be many more. So for better prompts, context is important. One of the example is prompt based on the user locations, right? So for circumstance like the user location can be useful in comprehending the context prompt. For example, if a user requests a nearby restaurant, the AI must recognize the user location in order to deliver the appropriate response. That's very important. Prompts dependent on time, right? So the time of the day can also important. For example, if a user requests a local 24 hours business, the AI must recognize the time of the day in order to deliver accurate response. Previous interaction, definitely, which is very important. So understanding the context, that's what I said that context is one of the key important for while designing the key components of prompt. So understanding the context of previous contexts with the AI can also helpful to improve the AI's response accuracy. For example, if a user has previously requested information from the ChatGPT on a given topic, so AI can retain that context and provide more relevant result in the futures. Fourth is the personalization. Again, it's a very important context. So in that case, what has happened? It includes the user personal information such as demographic, preference, history, which assist ChatGPT AI in personalizing the result and providing a better experience. So guidelines and context is very important while when talking about or thinking about the prompt and designing. Now coming to the I mean this is some of the mistakes which are definitely you should avoid. It is based on that mistake you may learn that what is the next time to get a desired result, what are the inputs you need to give. So one is that the unclear terminology, right? So using unclear terminology is one of the most important typical blunders in prompt engineering. If at all there is ambiguous phrasing can confuse the model and cause it to respond incorrectly. So for example, if the prompt is like, "Hey, what is the capital city of the United States?" So it may not understand, right? Or it may give some incorrect. If you ask that what is the capital city of the United States of America, then you will get that appropriate outputs what is required. Similarly, using difficult language, that should be absolutely no. So because this will prevalent error in prompt engineering is the use of if you use the sophisticated jargon or complex phrasing can make it difficult for the model to understand and respond appropriately. For example, if it is like, can you explain, right? Can you explain the definition of the word ob obfuscate, right? Or if you can ask what does the term ob obfuscate mean, right? So now you understand, right? So how it should be in a simplicity, how it should be avoid jargons and complexity of phrasings, and then so that you can get the accurate result or desired outcome. Now, other thing is using ambiguous language, like incorrect response might also result from using inconsistent phrasing in prompts. Inconsistent phrasing can confuse the model and make understanding the prompt's intent challenging. For example, what is France capital, which city it is, Paris or Marseille. So if you ask all this type of things, if you may not get the result or the model gets confused, right? So if you ask, that's called ambiguous language, right? So if you ask direct, what is France capital? So look at the output, right? In terms. Then slanted terminology also you should avoid. Biased, phrasing in prompts can lead to a biased model replaced, and this is very important. Is especially in the financial industry also. There is a lot of discussions which are going on in terms of biased output. So biased language can reinforce preconception and discrimination. There is a lot of discussion in terms of mortgage industry also. I've seen that in the or lending industry in the U.S. market for discriminations in terms of well deciding the factor for the borrowers, right? Black versus white. So anyway, there is the news which are there. You can definitely Google it and search it. So that's important. So for example, who is the greatest basketball player of all time? Say LeBron James or Michael Jordan. So in term, and then you ask who are some of the greatest basketball players of all time, right? So you see the difference. If you look at the any of the Chat GPT and all, if you type it and see the difference, what are the responses you're getting? Now another thing is that in terms of getting using insufficient prompts, right? So your prompt should be sufficient. It should be complete. Incomplete cues can also result in appropriate model replies. Incomplete prompts make it difficult for the model to understand the objective of the prompt and provide a the unintended response. For example, what is the meaning of life? Right? And see, according to the philosophy, what is the meaning of life? That's interesting, right? So that's the way the common mistake of inputs and outputs or desired output. If you require, you should think. And while talking about the some of the strategy, right? While designing the prompt part of it or thinking of the prompt, these are very important. So there may be multiple. There is a few more. So based on that, Damian Robinson's ChatGPT prompt engineering. So I found out the four are very key important. So strategy one is a prompt driven question and answer. So this is like one effective method of prompt engineering is prompt driven question answering. This approach involves having ChatGPT ask a series of questions to gather the necessary information or a context about a specific task or goal. So some of the tips for this strategy includes one is the defining the goal of the or task. Before utilizing the prompt designing prompt driven questioning answer, it is essential to clearly define the goal or a task you want ChatGPT to accomplish. This could range from providing a list of recommendations to a solving a problem or generating specific output. And then other tips is like you have to instruct ChatGPT to ask a question. To begin a prompt question answering process, you need to inform ChatGPT to ask about question about the goal and task in order to gather a necessary information so that generative AI ChatGPT can answer you right whatever you are actually expected. Then asking a relevant question. Once the instruction is given, ChatGPT will proceed to the relevant question based on the specific goal or task. These questions are designed to a specific information required to fulfill the prompt accurately. Now, user respond to a question is as ChatGPT asks question, the user provides the corresponding answer, and it is important to answer the question accurately and thoroughly. To ChatGPT has the necessary information to generate the tailored response. Then the generating response after gathering the user response, ChatGPT utilizes the collect information to generate a complete response or fulfill the given task. The response can be given in the form of list, solution, recommendation, and throughout the relevant of the initial goal task. So, some of the use cases for this kind of strategy. Definitely, one thing is the decision making assistance. So, when a user need to assist in a making a decision, such as choosing a travel destination, a suitable career path, or a gift or someone, so prompt may ask questions, right? So that it can give you suitable result. And those questions may around, for example, understand the user preference, constraint, requirements of the offer well-informed recommendation. So based on that prompt, ChatGPT can answer to that. Then personal recommendation also. When user seeks a personal recommendation, such as exercise routines, diet plans, book suggestions, prompt driven question answering allows ChatGPT to gather relevant information about the user preference, the goals, constraint before it generating the tailored recommendation. So, for example, one of the things prompt can be tell me a list of exercise that would be the best for my health based on my age, a medical condition, body weight, BMI. Ask me question first to gather the information needed for the task. Then the prompt GPT can ask, hey, what is your age? Do you have any specific medical conditions or injuries? Should I consider? Could you provide your current body weight or BMI? Then, based on that, you can say what is your age? Hey, I'm a 24-year-old, no medical condition. My body BMI is 160 pounds, right? And based on that, ChatGPT can answer uh, what exercise you require for example, maybe cardiovascular exercise, maybe cycling, maybe swimming, and strengthening exercise, all that. So I think this is what the first strategy, prompt-driven question answer. Now, moving to the next, the assigning a role at ChatGPT. This is very important. I mean, from a generative AI perspective, if ChatGPT, if you are assigning some roles and it understands what it is needs to do, then the output will be very relevant and accurate. So this technique is particularly useful for obtaining highly, technical outputs. So when you need to ChatGPT generate a response to specific domain areas. For example, maybe mortgage industry, borrower information types. Maybe, if you want to have a professional assistance like a lawyer, but like a doctors, initial things. So let's look at what are the tips for this kind of questions. So initiating the prompt to use the assigning the role technique, you start by instructing ChatGPT to act as someone specific, and this is done by explicitly stating that the role you want ChatGPT to assume. You can assign it almost any type of expert, professional, and character that you can think. And once you are assigning the role, then you have to defining the expertise, right? Once the ChatGPT assume the roles, you can further specify the expertise or knowledge area you want to it to pose. This allows ChatGPT to generate a response that reflect the style, perspective, and expertise to chosen role. After that, generating role based on responses, right? After assigning the role and expertise, ChatGPT will generate a response as if it is an expert or professional in the particular field. It will assign the roles, knowledge, and provide insights, advice, information in a manner and consistent in a chosen person. Uh, then utilizing multiple roles, you can also use it for a multiple roles or expert role to its field. For example, you can instruct it act as a professional day trader who is an expert in trading option. This allows ChatGPT to generate responses that combine multiple areas of expertise and enhance depth and accuracy of the output. For example, some of the use cases like virtual character conversations, right? So this is very important. I can see that these are going to happen. Virtual assistant, virtual character conversations for MD. So assigning a role to ChatGPT allows you to engage a virtual conversation with the model if there are specific characters such as historical figure, a fictional character, or even a celebrity. So this can provide an immersive and interactive experience with the users. Then professional assistance. This is also one of the useful use cases. You can assign ChatGPT the role of a professional such as doctors, lawyers, engineers to seek expert advice and information. This can be helpful for gaining insight and understanding complex topics from a professional standpoint. So while saying that, assigning the role and act as a professional. So, for example, if you are assigning the Chat GPT as a act as a nutritionist, professional nutritionist who specializes in vegan diets, right? Now, this is the first prompt. Act as a nutritionist who specializes in vegan diets. Then response could be as a professional nutritionist specializing in vegan diets. I'm here to help. Let's discuss your the question and concerns, right? Then user, you may say, what are the some good plant-based sources of protein? Now response may say, a great question. Plant-based diets offer on various protein in rich options, and some of the excellent like you go for a tofu, you go for a quinoa, you go for nuts and seeds. So these are based on the role what it understand. You already said that you are a professional nutritionist, so based on that it will answer. Now coming to the third strategy, which is saying the question answer priming. The question answer priming is an effective technique used in prompt engineering to guide the chat GPT in generate accurate and informative response. At its core, question answer priming is about setting an expectation from the AI model. Now, what are the tips for this question answering? The specificity is key, definitely. The more specific your question and answer, the better the model will understand and desired response from format and content you will receive, right? Now, next is a use multiple example. If possible, provide a multiple question answer, and this can be model to understand. Then definitely don't be afraid to experiment with different question answers. Sometimes a slight change in phrasing can yield significantly better result. Now, for some of the use cases for that is information retrieval. Right? If you are seeking a specific information, and you can use question answer priming to guide a model towards the desired response. For example, you might ask, "What is the capital of France?" An expert answer is Paris. So this is a very simple question answer priming. Then education, this is informational retrieval. Educational content, if you are creating educational content, you can simply ask question to education, and this will be like, for example, what are the three states matter, right? So it may say that solid, liquid, and gas. This is based on either you require information retrieval, either you require a educational content. So that's for this strategy. The last thing is very important. You experiment with a lot of questions. You see that what are the answers you are getting. So sometimes a slight change can in phrasing can yield a significant better result, right? Yeah. So now the last, I mean, at this point, what I can think this is one of the last strategy of the while thinking about the or the number four strategy, like is the priming with example. Now, this strategy can be particularly effective when you are asking the model to generate creative content or a complex problem, right? So, in that case, what are the tips? It is said that quality over quantity. The quality of your example is more important than quantity. Make sure your examples are clear, concise, and accurately represent the desired output. The variety of examples is also important. Provide examples that showcase a variety of response within the desired format or style. This can help the model to understand the range and acceptable response. Some of the use cases are, if you want to go for a creative writing, if you are looking for a poem, if you are looking for a short story, if you are even script for a play, you can provide examples of the specific style or genre you want, and then ask the model to generate a similar piece of writing. So that's a priming with examples, which is very important. The educational content, which is very useful. If you are creating educational content, you can provide examples of the type of the content. For example, lesson plan, quiz studies, and ask the model to generate similar content. So, for example, I just want to say that this is very important. And then if you say that in a example is subject meeting reschedule request. So you can say that here, dear Mr. Roy, due to unforeseen circumstance, I am unable to attend the meeting scheduled for tomorrow at 3 p.m. Could you possibly reschedule it next Monday at the same time? I apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. And then this is as a part of the creative writing, and then you see that what is the prompt is based on this input, what is the outcome. And then again you can use that as a suppose if you are part of any project and you say the project update, dear team, I am writing to update you on the progress of your current project. We have completed the initial design phase and now moving on to development. I'll keep you posted on any other updates, so and so. So so I think I mean, this is what the user prompts, and then you see that what is that ChatGPT is responding uh, based on that. So I think this is just I want to talk about the prompt engineering, which is a very much important. Uh, you have to think from a, how you can design, how you make it a prompt structure and templates, so that you can getting the expected outcomes, desired outcomes. I think these four, uh, while designing these four things will be an important, and definitely you should avoid some of the jargon, some of the ambiguities, so that your prompt are useful. So this is all about the prompt engineering. I'll talk about more into prompt engineering in my next video. Thank you very much.